Hi guys, I'm back. I'm so sorry. I had to run and write down my soul travel experience because it was so vivid in the last video. So yeah, write your dreams down, guys. It is seriously one of the best ways to up-level your consciousness because you are traveling in the different dimensions and you can bring back so much wisdom and so much helpful advice of what's to come in your life. So above, so below, so within, so without. So here we go. I'm just gonna continue from where I left off. All right. Memories, doubts, and fears are far away when perceived through love, dimmed by love that is in itself so absolute, so separate from logic that nothing else matters. Death is only an incident. Tortures can be endured, and agony until it dies of nothingness. Like irrevocable years, love lives forever. It does not matter. Pain and the past are nothing more than love's chrysalis, its shell, its seedbed in which these necessary nothings release such real wonders, such as the comforting thrill of God's hand on one's shoulder. So, yes, life brings you lemons and it also brings you lovely things. And you can make the lemonade out of the lemon, or you can just deal with the bitterness of the lemon. So which is it that you're going to choose, right? And sometimes things are ugly. And you know what? I talk to a lot of people and oftentimes the feeling of true like sorrow and sadness and like deepness and desperation comes out in people where they're just like overwhelmed or they're just really don't know how to get out of a situation. But I tell you this is that the more you focus on the situation at hand, the worse it can sometimes get. And what do I mean? Sometimes if you just take your attention off of something that you've dealt with in every way that you possibly can, you just let it go and you focus your attention elsewhere, then everything just kind of like gels into place anyway. I mean, if you're going through something difficult, you've done everything, your due diligence that you're supposed to do, then sometimes for me in my life, I will just put on one of my amazing novels. What do you like to listen to? You know, there's something called Hoopla. It's an app you can get. There's also the Amazon books you can get. I think you don't pay for Hoopla, but you do pay for Amazon. But there's so many wonders and things you can explore in various books too, and take your mind off of your current troubles. Knowledge can bring many things, for knowledge comes from mind expansion, but the consciousness of the heart brings love, and love brings all things. So yeah, don't want to get too brainiac, go to the heart, you know, feel the love. Okay, I'm not going to break out into song, though it almost came out. Those individuals who catch the full impact of the holy word are never again the same, because someone who has divine love in his heart will treat others according to the high spiritual law of love. It's so true. Okay, so if you have great love in your heart and you realize that that's really where it's at, then you're going to treat other people with dignity and respect. And if they don't treat you that way, you're going to back away and have dignity and respect for yourself, but you're not going to treat them poorly. You're going to do nothing but walk away. Literally nothing. Like nothing. You know, no bad thoughts, not one bad thought. In fact, I've sent people like love that have hurt me, deeply hurt me. I have sent them love. Why? Not because I want to get back together with them, but because I want them to succeed in their life. I truly do. Like, I know that when people act badly, it's because they're unconscious on some level, you know? So that's an example of divine love, when someone hurts you, but you still wish them the best and you move on, right? All right, what's next? Let's see. The Eckmasters embody the divine law of love, and through them, it reaches out into all the worlds, creating a wide circle of influence. It's so true. So if you are working with an Eckmaster, and there's many of them, okay, in the inner or even sometimes in the outer, okay, then you can embody, and it's almost contagious, the love vibe that they exude, right? So it's kind of the same thing. If you're around someone who is in a low vibration, and their energy is affecting you negatively, do you want to spend more time with them? Well, maybe you do. But let's say you do spend more time with them, and then you start kind of getting their gruff attitude and negativity too. You know, there's some people who will complain about anything and everything, like incessantly, despite the blessings they have. There's so many things to be grateful for every morning, every night, every day. Thank God, thank yourself, thank universe source. Again, insert deity of choice or master, whatever you want. Yeah. So you just say thank you and thank yourself too, that you're not who you used to be, right? You have more self-respect now, right? All right. The greatest law of love of all is the law of love. And this is the law that you're interested in to find your way back home to God. Yes. The spiritual laws are based on the law of love. They do not punish for the mere pleasure of inflicting pain. They do it to teach people a spiritual lesson. So if you've gone through something hard, let's say you were incarnated into a family who hurt you and you were never safe or comfortable or whatever your situation was, okay? There's a long list of anything you guys could have experienced, right? So let's say you had that experience. You're not going to want to hear this, but I'm going to say it straight because I do believe that we choose the parents in the pre-incarnation time that we go to. And that is sometimes not necessarily a choice if we were really bad in a past life, but oftentimes it is a choice because we know that those people are going to help wake us up to our spiritual gifts, to what we are here to do, to any mission that we might have, etc. Right? So if you have a cushy, easy childhood and cushy, easy young adult years and great partners who treat you so lovely, then you're just not going to have you're just not going to grow the strength because it was so nice. It's like you might as well be in one of the heavens, in one of the dimensions in the higher worlds, because those are less dense and less difficult, actually. They're very beautiful, and there's a lot less trauma and drama and pain and evil there, okay, as you get to the higher worlds through all the numbers that I've said in different videos. We start with the physical, that's where the body is. We can then go to the astral, okay? It's like flying saucers, the psychic region, and it's a brighter place. Then there's the causal plane where the Akashic records, past life records are stored in the causal plane. You can chant a word Mane if you want to get to the causal plane and review your past life Akashic records. There oftentimes, you might see them in a, like oftentimes you could see like a movie screen and then you get sucked into it and then you're in some other body and you're experiencing what you were. Or you can see a postcard of it or like an index card. You know, there's so many and you can review them there. But the word to get to the Akashic record plane is Mane. So it'd be Mane, and you just do it over and again as much as you want. Actually, 3 times is good because it's a 3rd level. Then the next one, mental, then the etheric, and then you're to the pure love, where there is no dichotomy. It's more the pure love worlds. Okay, that's the goal, and that's where the masters reside, and they come down. The spiritual laws are based on the law of love. They do not punish for the mere pleasure of inflicting pain. They do it to teach people a spiritual lesson, which is part of their entire education. A little here, a little there, a little arithmetic, a little bit of language and geography. All the aspects of a spiritual nature so that one day soul can become a co-worker with God. So you're learning everything here. Everyone earns what he gets. Like it or not, that is the law of love. The law of love helps soften the hardened heart. Often there's no harder heart than that of a victim to some facet of life. It's hard like a walnut shell, and how do you get through? Divine spirit will. It takes strength in youth and returns weakness and old age. It takes power and trades it for weakness. It takes freedom and gives back slavery. How does love show up? The window of heaven, the Ek initiation, your initiation, carries a great responsibility, but it also gives the ability to open your heart to life around you and to all of God's creatures. Yeah. So like I said, I've been in 5 different religions in this lifetime, and now I'm on the spiritual path of Eckankar. And when I tell you that I loved every other path and I learned so much as a first born into a Jewish family, then spiritual stuff, then it was Taoism, then Buddhism, and then Christianity. And I learned something from every one of them, but my spiritual wings have sprouted more so once I became an Ek initiate and joined Eckankar, like literally, like chanting the hue, the word for love. It doesn't conflict with any religion. You can be any religion and still join Eckankar, but what you do is you invite the current living Ek master to visit and to help. They will not, the masters or angels, whatever you want to call them, I call them masters, will not help unless you request their help. Okay, so you have to actually actively ask. And so I've asked, and I'm telling you, it's real. It's incredible. And it's not just about the phenomena and, soul traveling or all those fabulous things that you can do. It's not just that. It's more. What it is, it's you're raising your consciousness. So you can raise your consciousness simply by changing your thought from a negative one to a positive one. It doesn't have to be this incredible, I flew out of my body last night and I was all energy and went through the walls or something. It can be just normal stuff, Okay. There is so much that God has to give you and me, but all these different rules and codes that we live by sometimes restrict us in the wrong way without letting us know that there is a higher law. It is the law of divine love. To get love, you must give. So many of us are afraid to even let love back in after we've been burnt so badly. Yeah, if you're one of those people too, it's scary. I completely get that. To get love, you must give love wherever and whenever you can, because that is the law of love. The master helps each individual find love and freedom. In a sense, the Mahanta, the living Ek master, isn't a savior at all. He's not to be worshipped like that. It's not the same thing. He is truly a friend, and a guide in the inner. Let's say you need to get somewhere in the inner, he knows where to go. You could follow him. There are different places you can study. It's just as incredible. Okay. For he respects God's law of love, that life here is a divine gift for soul to unfold spiritually by experience. For soul. And back to Rodney Jones at the Ek convention this past year in Minneapolis, he said something that was so wise. He said, nothing happens to you. Everything happens for you. And if you can find the seed of the lesson and wisdom in that, then you're no longer a victim. You just shifted out of victim mentality, which is a very low vibe. Higher laws, such as the law of love, prevail in the spiritual worlds. But down here, we are in the worlds of dichotomy, lack or plenty, highs and lows, riches and poverty. The law of love states, to get love, you must give love. All who have felt the love of God must return that love to others. It is the law of love. This law supports the universes, and it is the only hope of peace in your time. That peace never comes through any decree by a leader in politics or religion, for it already resides in the heart. But one must first find it. You don't need a go between you and God, okay? So talk to God. God's listening. Well, actually, you could talk to whoever you want to talk to, but I like to talk to the current living Ek master and other Ek masters that I remember from previous incarnations, and they're really real, so they help a lot. And it's just, gosh, it's such clear stuff that they present in a way that makes it so clear and easy. Okay, and I'm trying to not butcher what I've learned from them here and from myself. I will give myself credit too. All right, what is the spiritual purpose of life again? To what? To learn, to give, and receive love. What is the spiritual purpose of life? To learn, to give, and receive love. Simple. Boom. Why do we have to make it more complicated? It's that simple. In every now moment, be in a state of love. Period. Even when people act like double blahs. I was with some people the other day, and they just wanted to have a debate together. And I just sat there and I just listened and chanted the hue inwardly, and I stayed so calm, and They just have their little thing. I'm like, why? It's so unnecessary. What? So you want to debate something for what? You want to waste your time here debating? So who what? My opinion is my opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. Why are you fighting? It's so silly to me. I don't understand it. I hope you guys get coffee too and make this a casual time in your day to just lean back. Lean back. Give to yourself too. All right? Love, after all, is the great law of life. God's love sustains all. Soul exists because God loves it. And so the Sugmad, another word for God in Eckankar, has sent the Mahanta, the living Eckmaster, to help wandering souls find their way home again. And that's exactly, he's considered the way shower. All right, love and love alone is the key to God realization. All other attributes and virtues spring from divine love. It is the beginning and ending of all things. Love is the key to God realization. The Master is with you always, in all times and places. He shares your joys and sorrows. He lightens the burden of fear from life's changes. Oh, that is so true. Yes, he's always here with you. And I'm telling you, the things that I used to fear in the past or be concerned about or neurotic about are gone. Like, honestly, I did ask for a karmic clearing, and I've had many soul travel experiences where I've been in situations that had occurred in different lifetimes, and they were resolved. And that's the beauty too, as an Ekkas, I can ask for that to be resolved in the inner versus having to experience it in the 3D physical. And boy, it's much easier to wake up from that and go, okay, I'm still here. Yeah, that's okay. Alice, is all good, right? But you still feel the effect of that past life, and then it just disappears, really. He rides on the celestial winds of God's sound and light. So listen and watch for him there. Find him in the secret places of the garden of your consciousness, its holy ground. When all others fail and tremble as the trials of living become too great for their faith, you know and see the promise of God's ever-present love. The Mahanta is here with you, in all times and places. His dear presence is the source of a Chila, that means student, Chila's hopes and dreams, and yes, even of courage. So the nice thing about Eckankar too is you don't even have to like pay anything. I think it's a suggested annual fee of like $60 maybe to get a book for the whole year and all these different newsletters that are very helpful. And you can go to your local Eckankar like place where they'll chant the hue, or they'll talk about spiritual things like past lives, reincarnation, karma, and they're all over the world. But what I like is that there's a book that comes every year, and you're not supposed to read more than one chapter a month. And I definitely listen to that. So it helps unfold your consciousness in a slow, healthy pace. And what you do is like maybe 10 pages, you read through it, and you review it. And then there's questions at the end of each of the chapter. And it's called satsang. You go to a class if you want, or there's sometimes online on like a Zoom call, and you can talk about the chapter that you're on. The Arahata, the teacher, will basically ask questions that you consider. It's not like, it's not facts like that. It's like, questions about your dream travels, or what your soul travel experience taught you, or if you want to share that kind of a thing. And it's a month to month, and it really does help you unfold in a steady way. His dear presence is the source of Achila's hopes and dreams, and yes, even of courage. All is as it must be in God's house. All is right, all is true, for all therein is love's embrace. Divine love and justice are yours to receive and give. Hold up your golden cup to heaven. Say, Lord of all, fill it with your holy love and let me drink till I can drink no more. And talking about filling your own cup, and it's true, but there's also like the consideration of taking in that love, right? Ah, sweet love of life, sweet, gentle, pure, and kind. It gives life to all whom you meet. for they can feel the divine goodness in you. You and they are kin, sons and daughters of the Supreme One. I won't say it again. Equal and equally loved in the eyes of God. Even you bad, naughty people out there, even you are still divinely loved. You get that? Like, no matter what you've done, you're still loved by God. You know? It just means you're going to have more school to go through. Sorry. Are these the dreams of a dreamer, or surely the dreamer of life? You share in the divine dream. You, a co-worker with the Mahanta, help bring love and justice to all within your sphere. Yes, I am always with you, always. Look and listen for my light and voice. Oh my God, he's so sweet. In them are the love and guidance you seek for making your own way back home to the ocean of love and mercy. So, honestly, it took me a while to actually get to know the current living Eckmaster. And I'm just telling you, it's overwhelming, like in a good way. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to cry, but he's just so, so divinely kind. And I have met him in the inner many times now. And there probably will be a time in this incarnation or another where you get to meet an Eckmaster. And it's kind of like the feeling that I explained in my other video when I met that angel in New York City. And the kindness, it's just, when you tune in, it's just overwhelmingly beautiful. These are not tears of sorrow. I don't feel the depths of sorrow like I used to feel in any way, shape, or form. But I'm touched that I'm privileged to know Sri Harold Klemp, the current living Eckmaster, and to read from his book, The Spiritual Laws of Life, with you today. I love you.